Hi, everybody. This is James from Praagh, spiritual medium of many, many years now. I'm going on 40. I wanted to talk to you today about a subject which affects all of us. Have you ever been with someone, whether at a party, a gathering, a family gathering as well, or with friends or certain people, and for some reason afterwards you feel exhausted, you feel so tired? That's because I call those energy vampires. They suck the life out of you, right? And there are people that are like that. Maybe they can't help themselves. Maybe they're just looking for someone else to give them some energy. We've all known them, right? And when becoming a spiritual medium and working in development of a spiritual medium, one of the most important parts of my development was learning how to work with my energy and how to learn to, if you will, block certain energies or shield myself and protect myself from other people's energy. It's really, really important when you work at an energetic level to really know, first of all, know your own energy field, become aware of who you are, how your energy is, how you vibrate, the frequency that you're on. And then, really, when you become aware of that and are really tuned into your own energy fields, I should say, then you'll become very aware when there's someone else coming into your energy field. And you'll be very aware when you're with certain people that, wow, I feel pulled. My energy feels very, very pulled. And sometimes you'll feel it in your stomach area, the solar plexus, and you'll feel exhausted and tired. And I run into this quite a bit, yeah, especially being in the public eye. We all do. A couple of examples of this, and I really had to learn the hard way at first because I didn't know much about it until I started developing as a medium. In the very beginning days, when I did one-on-one readings in my apartment in Los Angeles, I remember I prepared for this sitting and I put the beautiful music on, had incense, I meditated. I was in a lovely space and the doorbell rang. I opened up the door and there was a lady standing there. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And all around this lady were clouds, these dark clouds of energy, but fragments of energy and clouds and pieces. And I was like, oh, what is this? And the weird thing was, so her auric field, her aura was, can I say ripped, or there were holes in the auric field, which does happen when someone's weakened. And this auric field of hers wasn't an oval shape as usual, but it was really tattered and kind of went all the way down the sidewalk. And I'm like, wow, this lady needs help. And I thought, oh, wow, what am I going to do? Because she's coming into my house. And Spirit immediately gave me an image. And the image was this brilliant white yellow light. And it was like a waterfall. And it came down right in front of me and around me. And I heard, you're shielded. You can move ahead now. Now, that was very, very important. And I use that all the time when I go out and do my work. And even when I go to my dog park in the morning, I will become quite aware of my energy field again. I don't run my energy. I call it running the energy, really working with the chakra system and amplifying each chakra point, running your energy from Mother Earth down from cosmic sky, and really running your energies together. So I talk a lot about that in my course. I'm going to mention in just a second to you, but it's very, very important we own our energy field and become aware of us. We're more than just this physical body, my friends. We're more energy than physical. So another thing I had to do, which is really another interesting story, I did the show Ghost Whisperer. I was a producer on that and created that show. And I remember before I'd go onto the lot, the Universal lot, after the first week I was there and I felt real depressed and down for no reason. And before I got on that lot the week later, I sat in the side of the freeway, the 101 freeway, and I went into protection mode. I thought, I've got to protect myself. I got to protect my energy fields from any energies that are floating around that lot. And I'm glad I did. Because imagine a lot, a studio lot. You have directors and actors and producers. It's about money and getting apart and desperation, and a lot of falsehoods and so forth. And it's a real kind of rough energy, right? So I had to do that. What I would do is I would sit in my car and I would imagine that I was sitting inside of like a mirror ball, a disco ball, and I was inside of that all around me. So the reflection goes out. So if any energies came toward me, it would bounce off and go back to the center. It would reflect back. so it wouldn't stay within me. And the moment I did that, and I did it every morning before I went into that lot and before I went onto the set, because as a sensitive, as an empath, we pick up those things, right? That energy. We really, really do, like a moth to a flame. And I found that after I did that, I felt great. I felt energized. I felt centered. I felt like, wow, I really knew myself. I was in control of my surroundings. I became very aware. And that really helped. The next point that really helps in dealing with energy vampires are boundaries. We have to have boundaries. We have to set our boundaries. So I do that in different ways. One of the common ways I will do that is, and I really, really push you to start doing this, is to step back and be objective. Pretend you're watching a movie or a stage show, and you're sitting in the audience watching this, you're observing this. And just watch what happens. Don't connect emotionally with it, but watch the different players and how they behave. It's great at family gatherings. It's great when you have friends together. And I just sit back and watch how each one, the dynamic between each person, and I become very objective. I'm not pulled into it. I just see how they behave. So next time at a family gathering, when someone says something to me, which might trigger up our past, right? Because our past relationships, because it goes back to our childhood many times because of unresolved traumas. So I will say to a family member, excuse me, I don't accept that. That's just not for me. That's your thing. You might be projecting your own information onto me. That doesn't belong to me. That belongs to you. And by doing that, and I've done that now many years, it really helps. It helps, number one, protect my energy. And number two, it's teaching that person, guess what? You're not allowed to give that out freely. You have to have respect. There's got to be mutual respect and responsibility for what you say and how you act. So that really, really helps. Now, how do you recognize energy vampires? They don't wear a cape, they don't have long fangs. So sometimes it's really easy. Once you get used to the characteristics, you'll be like, and I do this, it's so funny. I'll do this in stores and I'll just, again, be objective and watch people. The characteristics that I've become aware of for energy vampires are people that, number one, talk a lot. They'll talk a lot because they're trying to fill up the space. There's an insecurity there and they're trying to overcompensate, right? So that's number one. Number two, they keep on asking questions and they want to know more about you and what's going on in your life and how do you feel about this. And they also tend, and it's very, very important, to tend to put you down so they feel more important about themselves. Energy vampire. Also, they are very opinionated. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't do that. They tend to live kind of an opinionated way with fear involved. So everything is fear. Oh, I can't do this. I don't have money for here. Oh, I feel so bad. I can't do this. And it's all this negativity. And you don't want to be around negativity because our natural state is love. Negativity comes from fear. False ego appearing real, which is only relative to this three-dimensional human world. But these energy vampires tend to live in negativity. I've met many, and I've been to their houses. Not everyone, but some of these people that really stick out in my mind. And I met them, and then I'd go to their house, maybe months later with some friends, and I'd look around and say, wow, many of them tend to be kind of hoarders, holding on to things they don't want to let go of. And they want to be in control of those things that they know they can be of. They tend to be control freaks a little bit. So these are the characteristics I think they got to look out for. Be aware of. Again, going back to the simplest way for me, and I think for you, is to really, number one, become so aware of who you are energetically, your own energy fields, your emotional self, your mental self, your physical self, your spiritual self. Have a relationship with your own energy. Get to know it. Get to love it. Get to enjoy yourself. This is your reference right around here. And you'll know the more you attune yourself to your own energy, you will become aware when other people's energy come into the space. And some can be neutralized, some are just fine and lovely and you're with them. But then you'll become aware of those that are pulling at you or very needy. And the energy I feel personally, when I have an energy vampire around me, it feels very sharp. It's like points, very like arrows or points. And again, very opinionated, very strong. And I just step back and I listen. You learn a lot more. You get a lot more out of life if you use your eyes and your ears more than your mouth. So that's what I want to say to you and share that with you. Now, I talk a lot about energy vampires and how you can deal with that and learn more about working with your own energy fields, running your energy, and so forth in my spiritual healing certification course, online school, the JVP School of Mystical Arts. And I've worked really, well, I say hard, but I've opened myself up with spirit to really bring through those healing modalities, awareness, that sense of mindfulness, to spot, to know, and to protect yourself of these other beings who are harmless, perhaps in some ways. They don't mean harm, but it's just that's where they're at. And it comes from so many origins, whether they didn't get loved as a child, whether they're looking for other people to validate them. There's so many different ways. So you want to be centered and aware of who you are. And I've created this course just for that. And I hope you'll take advantage of that. So it's the JVP School of Mystical Arts. It is a spiritual healing certification course. I hope to see you in school. Thank you.